It's the final day of the 2017 FHSAA Girls Volleyball State Championships from the University of North Florida in Jacksonville. The first of 4 finals on this Saturday is in Class 6A with the Bishop Moore Hornets taking on the Ponte Vedra Sharks. Here's a look at how each of these teams advanced to today's final. Ponte Vedra with a 5-set win against 5A before getting past their playoff nemesis in Bishop Kenny. Bishop Moore on the road for the last 2 matches, winning in 4 sets against Archbishop McCarthy and Robinson. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Jacksonville. Austin Lyon, Aaron Campbell, thank you so much for joining us. This is a rematch of last year's 6A championship. Bishop Moore defeated Ponte Vedra soundly, but the Hornets aren't quite as good as they were a year ago, and the Sharks are a lot better. We expect a really competitive match.
Yeah, and both of these teams, they just are naturally really competitive. They have a lot of good players. They're very multi-dimensional, have a lot of weapons to show you today, so it's going to be a really well-balanced match.
Bishop Moore trying to continue what has been an amazing run. The Hornets seeking their 3rd consecutive state championship and 5th in the last 6 years. With a win today, they would become the first school from Central Florida to win 7 state titles. It's the final match for one of the most decorated players in area history. Marlee Monserrat, leadership has been incredible. Her versatility so valuable to this team this year.
And where she goes, the team goes. She's such a big emotional part of this game, just as along with her stat line and all the kills and digs and sets that she produces. It's her emotional game that really dictates how this offense and how this team goes. And she's pretty consistent. She's pretty even-keeled, but she's a very big competitor as well.
Ponte Vedra, a much more well-rounded team this year. Their attack runs through the 2 outside hitters.
And one of the keys for the Ponte Vedra team is actually winning out of system, and they're going to do that off the shoulders of both Gabby Keller and Paige Johnson. They have to be very efficient in that out-of-system play. That's going to be critical to execute that game plan, and these are the 2 players you want to have at the pins when you need to win out of system.
And those 2 have been phenomenal during this postseason run for Ponte Vedra. It's the Sharks and the Bishop Moore Hornets in the 6A championship match here from UNF. We will have the starting lineups and the first serve when you come back here on Spectrum Sports. Back at the University of North Florida in Jacksonville, Bishop Moore and Ponte Vedra moments away from getting started here in the 6A final. I'll show you the starting lineups for each of these 6A finalists, starting with Bishop Moore. Claire Meyer in the middle, second on the team in kills. She is signed with Wofford. Cameron Scheitzock, who will set and also hit from the right side, has signed with Kentucky. For Ponte Vedra, great ball distribution on this team. That's due in large part to setter Savannah Fowler, who also leads the team in aces. Right side, Jordan Gregg, coming off a phenomenal performance in the state semifinals against Bishop Kenny, in which she had 9 kills and no errors. Time for the keys to the game. They are driven by your local Honda dealers.
For Ponte Vedra, we addressed it in the open. It's all about winning the out-of-system game. You have to be able to execute the offense when you're out of system, because Bishop Moore does a great job of getting you there. And then for Bishop Moore, it's cranking up Claire Meyer as fast and early as you can in this match, because she's getting her started on offense is going to free up a lot of shots for their own out-of-system game.
Those are the keys to the game, driven by your local Honda dealers. Ponte Vedra in the gray and blue jerseys. Bishop Moore, the road team, wearing all black. 3-0 victory for the Hornets when these 2 met last year in Ocala. But again, Ponte Vedra, a much better team. We expect it to be a competitive match this morning. It nearly started with an ace from Savannah Fowler. Ponte Vedra wins the first point on a kill from senior Lily Kinder.
And Lily Kinder isn't the biggest girl on the court, but what she does well is she's just really explosive. I like that play call. They're stacking, getting Paige Johnson up there early. They don't set her the first time around. I think that was a surprise to Bishop Moore's defense.
Marlee Monserrat is stuffed. Kinder with the first 2 points for Ponte Vedra.
And that is a fantastic block. You can see the timing of Jordan Gregg on that play, just pressing at the perfect time to get the block.
Monterey another chance. The block did not react as quickly, and Monterey ripped it down the line.
And the whole defense for Ponte Vedra thought that ball was going to go to number 17, Lizzie Brown. But that's exactly what you want from Monterey, one-on-one, or no block.
Monterey a much bigger part of the attack this year. Bishop Moore needing some players that can terminate. Monterey certainly has that ability. And a double contact whistled against Cameron Scheitzok. Nice start for Ponte Vedra. They were overwhelmed by the Hornets a year ago, and it was a really good Bishop Moore team. They finished in the top 10 in the country. But Robin Minery, the coach of the Sharks, told us that last year they had a happy to be here mentality. Given that a lot of the players are back from that team, they figure they'll be much more comfortable, and they have shown that through the first 5 points of this match. An ace for Paige Johnson, and it's 4-1 in favor of Ponte Vedra. Tapped over by Greg. Scheitzok goes to Monterey. That catches the back line.
And where we see Monterey most dangerous is really when Scheitzok's not able to make that play because of the dig location. You don't know what Monterey is going to do. I love this rotation for Bishop Moore because they have that option with her in the front row. And then she's so tricky on offense as well, just clipping that back line for Ponte Vedra.
Another in-system swing for Lily Kinder. Ponte Vedra able to activate the middles with outstanding passing so far.
And just a big jumper. She's got a lot of springs in those feet. Hangs in the air, gets a nice wrist snap on the ball, has nice top spin. Marlene Monterey is a very good defender, and to be able to beat her with speed is pretty impressive.
Libero Sophia Irvanian with the third ace for the Sharks. Good pass that time to Monterey. One-on-one on the right side, dug by Irvanian. And just about every out-of-system ball, Hornets are trying to get it to Monterey. She's long with that attack. And it's an early 7-2 lead for Ponte Vedra. Sharks are fired up as Bishop Moore spends a timeout. Robin Minery in her 9th season at the helm of this Ponte Vedra program, approaching 200 wins. And a great experience both playing and coaching. Part of the ACC's 50th anniversary team, 3-time all-conference performer at Clemson, and was previously the head coach for 3 years at Jacksonville University. So great experience on that Ponte Vedra bench.
And they're playing like a very collegiate team right now. There are a lot of big girls on this team, big jumpers, big attackers, but what they're doing well is they're transitioning well. They're winning. They're not even being out of system because the defense has been so sound. They're running their offense with really high efficiency.
And as we've seen throughout the state tournament, the team that wins the serve and pass game has been the team that's won the match.
And so far, having 3 aces, that's not something that Bishop Moore, you don't see that stat line against the Hornets, especially early on, because they're such a good passing team. But I heard Minery talking about number 4, Irvanian serve, and they were saying it's like a changeup. It just drops on you at the last second.
Great effort by Meyer to try to pop that ball up. She gets whistled for a double contact. And now we'll get a conversation between Brian Leong and Michael Rothman. This set of officials from the Greater Miami Athletic Conference. Back of Tanya Jarvis. Married, now known as Tanya Starrett, but known by so many in the volleyball community with that last name of Jarvis. A lot of her players still call her Coach Jarvis. And the call from Brian Leong after a conversation was a replay.
And I think it's the right call. Remember that the block touch actually doesn't count as a touch. You can come down and make that play. It's not a double contact.
And Bishop Moore fights back to win the point. Monserrat, an absolute rifle.
And that's what happens when Bishop Moore gets a great pass. They can run and execute their first ball kill situation. That's a good matchup too, because you have Meyer in the front row who gets a lot of sets, and then they force it back to Monserrat. She's left wide open.
Monserrat rotates into the back row to serve. Once again, Ponte Vedra has been superb so far in serve receive. Monserrat now in that setting role. One of the Hornets called for being in the net. Eve Beach checks in for the Sharks. Junior defensive specialist will serve. Scheitzock off the net through the hands of the libero Urbanian.
And what I love about players on the Bishop Moore side, you know, we've seen them, they're in our market, we've seen them play a lot, is that all of them they're all utility players. Everybody on the Bishop Moore side can play any position. You'll see Monserrat sometimes set out of the middle and even block out of the middle. There's so many different dimensions to this team that it's hard to play defense.
Nikki Fritz in for the first time for the Hornets. She serves. And once again, the outstanding pass allows Fowler to go to the middle. And Erika Hendrickson takes advantage of her first swing.
And Hendrickson has that really cool bow and arrow arm swing. She doesn't swing a lot from the shoulder. It's almost like a pitch in baseball. She swings a lot from elbow to wrist, and then she snaps that hand on top so it has that nice top spin.
Offense starting to come along for Hendrickson. She's been connecting well with Fowler. Claire Meyer scoring for Bishop Moore to get the Hornets' side out. First kill for the 6-foot senior middle.
And has done such a good job at adjusting to the ball better. You know, she comes off an injury from last year, and I think what she's done so well this year is just not be so set on where the set has to be. She's really good at adjusting to the ball.
Meyer suffered a torn ACL in the regular season last year. That's made her appreciate her time on the court a lot more. Paige Johnson getting involved in the attack for Ponte Vedra. The team's trading first ball kills the last several points. Three-balled over. Not a great first contact for the Hornets. And swing for Adriana Hernandez just beyond the end line. Precise pass that time. Monserrat making the deft decision to dump on two.
And nobody expects it because she's so far off the net, but that's actually a great play call. Just getting the ball back, ending the run. You don't want to give points 2+ point runs, especially when you're trying to fight back.
Ball with strange spin coming out of the hands of Fowler. Double contact against the Ponte Vedra setter. Scheitzock, an outstanding server, incredibly accurate from behind the service line. And she gets an ace. 47th this year for the senior who is signed with Kentucky.
We talked about Urbanian's ball having a little bit of that change-up feel to it. Scheitzock has that same level of change on that ball. It's coming at you so flat, it's hard to make a read.
Bishop Moore program that prides itself on serving aggressively and getting teams out of system. An ace followed up by an error for Scheitzock. And it's a 4-point lead for Ponte Vedra.
And this is the best offensive rotation for Ponte Vedra. They have Fowler back in the serving line, so they have 3 options. They have Paige Johnson in the front row. They have Lily Kinder, who's tallied some blocks, and then they have Jordan Gregg, who's been pretty critical in that matchup. And there's another block.
Kinder that time blocking Monserrat. The matchups favoring Robin Minery's team, putting 2 of her best blockers opposite Marley Monserrat in the front row.
And we talked about this being the best offensive rotation, but look at that block coming in. You could even, Kinder was even saying to her teammates, that just hit me on my forearm up high over that net.
Fowler took the first ball off the tape for Paige Johnson. Madison Highfield finds the deep corner. First time we've called the name of the 5'8" junior outside hitter. Lefty is really comfortable hitting from the right side.
We saw her warming up. She's not the biggest jumper in the gym, but what she does well is her shots go deep into the court. Very vulnerable areas in that defense, just those back corners. There's no one there to get that ball.
Highfield played on JV last year. She shined with an increased role this season. Good shot from Paige Johnson, right in between Highfield and the libero Arjumand for her second kill.
And Paige Johnson has this really long draw. So she goes all the way down, then brings that elbow nice and high. For a blocker, it's hard to read because remember, as blockers, we read shoulders when they're attacking that ball. So it's a little bit hard to, you have to block ball in that scenario, and then she can mix it up and hit wherever she wants on the court.
Against a triple block, there's Gabby Keller.
And not the biggest jumper, Gabby Keller, but what she's doing well against that triple block, you don't want to swing down. You want to swing high. Gets a clip. Because you have the 3 blockers in the front row, there's so much defense that's left open. You have the pins, and then you have the middle back defending about 80% of the court.
Road to the championship match for Robin Minery's team. Included a sweep of Bellevue, 4-set win over Santa Fe. Had to go 5 with 5A in the region final, 15-9 in a really exciting 5th set. And then got past Bishop Kenny for the 2nd consecutive year in the state semifinals. Kenny had been the nemesis for Ponte Vedra, knocked him out of the postseason 4 years in a row. They finally got some revenge last year and beat him again this season.
And if they keep playing the way they are, they're going to have some revenge on the Bishop Moore Hornets like they did last year. So far, Ponte Vedra has shown the multi-dimension of their offense and their defense. They've dug a lot, and their blocking has been very, very good so far.
Scheitzock in the middle, there's Lizzie Brown. High hitting percentage for Lizzie Brown. Doesn't get many opportunities, but when she does, she takes advantage. There's Ariana Arjumand. Well, that serve dove as soon as it got over the tape, and it's an ace for Arjumand, her 52nd of the season.
And that ball just drops right in front of the libero Urbanian for Ponte Vedra.
Claire Meyer unloads. The up ref says that ball found the floor. It got there in a hurry.
She's so hard to track. Look at how fast that arm swing is. It's up high snap, so quick. Good connection between her and Scheitzock.
Long run for Fowler, and Keller is blocked. Monserrat and Meyer put up a wall, and the Hornets are back within 2.
And Gabby Keller is not the down swinger. She's the high swinger. So if she wants to go up against a big block, she's got to go off the hands, out of bounds, not right into the core of the block.
Jordan Gregg ends a run of 4 consecutive points for the Hornets. Big side out for Pontevedra.
And that's what makes Pontevedra so dangerous. You think that you have to defend Gabby Keller the whole time, and then here comes the right side Gregg, who they can just put the ball to, and she's going to end that run, get that kill that they need.
5 different players now with a kill for Pontevedra. That serve from Irvanian sails long.
And we've seen just the craziest volleyball all week, because last night in the 3A final, we were seeing teams fight back from 5-10 points back. I mean, this has the same feel. Bishop Moore was really far behind. It was 14-9 at one point, and they fought back within 2.
Grace Peterson got a touch on that attack. Highfield pops it up. Scheitzak with the roll shot results in a kill.
And that ball from Monterey, you talk about bettering the second ball. That ball could not have been in a better location for an outside hitter to make an attack. On the ground, in the air. I like the control from Scheitzak. She knew she needed to be defensive and made a really nice swing.
Overpass. Meyer couldn't get adjusted to be able to attack that. In system, Erika Hendrickson long, but the officials rule a touch.
It looked like it hit off of Arjumand almost. So yeah, good call by the official.
Second kill for Hendrickson. Beach back into serve. Scheitzak trying to go hard angle. An attack error. And Pontevedra pushes the lead back to 3. Monserrat couldn't get to that. Give Beach an ace. And just when it looked like Bishop Moore was starting to establish some rhythm, Pontevedra has now scored the last 3.
And now they're making a setting change. So now Scheitzak's going to come out of the passing rotation and set in this rotation for 2.
Goes to Meyer on the slide, who hit it into the net.
But I like the choice by Scheitzak. I like the choice going back. I like that they're keeping her in that 2 rotation because the pass could be tight. She saved and bailed him out of that tough situation last time.
3 consecutive errors from the Hornets in their attack, and they've been by their 3 best players, Scheitzak, Meyer, and Monserrat. One of the things Tanya Jarvis told us earlier this year and in preparation for this final was that all 3 of their captains had to be at their best in order for the team to perform. Peterson is just long. And it is now a 7-point deficit. 6 in a row scored by the Sharks. That time Peterson in, her first kill.
And a much needed run. We've actually never seen Bishop Moore have about a string of 4 errors in a row. Usually so good at getting out of those tough situations, but there's a magnifying glass on it when you're playing a team like Pontevedra, who's so efficient and scoring so many points and playing good defense. They feel like all of those errors just compound.
And Fowler did a nice job with that pass that was tight to the net. An attack error from Keller. Nikki Fritz has been excelling recently as a DS. Block slowed the attack of Keller down, but no Bishop Moore player could get there.
And Keller has the feel of a very beachy player to me. Because of her style, she's a little bit smaller. I mean, she's still pretty tall. She's 5'10", but she's not a huge leaper. She doesn't get off the floor very well, but what she does well is that she is very tricky about her shots and has a very beach style to it.
Meyer on the slide. Third kill for the Wofford signee. And she'll go back to serve with her team trailing by 5. Good pass by Logan Minnery. Coach's daughter in there to play in the back row, and a great spot from Paige Johnson.
And Paige Johnson actually almost preemptively did her approach on that swing. That ball was a little bit farther off the net, but made the adjustment mid-air just to take a little bit off of the finish to get that deep shot. Kept her elbow nice and high and found the deep corner.
Scheitzak pounding it off the block. Bishop Moore will have to stave off 5 more set points. Johnson on 2. That's just wide.
Oh.
One of the line judges is indicating there was a touch.
It looked like it was off of a touch.
And Clinton Reed will be called to the official stand. And if they rule a touch, the set's over. Ponte Vedra wins it. If not, we'll play on at 24-20.
But great athleticism by Paige Johnson. She didn't even know that set was going to come back to her on the second touch. Her teammate Lily Kinder just put it up there knowing that somebody would just go swing on it. So they're going to call it no touch. You don't want the set to end on a call like that. So I like that call. When we watched the replay, it wasn't necessarily definitive one way or the other.
Well, Bishop Moore stays in it for at least 1 more point. Double contact on Fowler. Second ball handling error against the Ponte Vedra setter, and Robin Minnery will bring her team to the sideline. Showed you how Ponte Vedra got here for Bishop Moore. Started in the regional quarterfinals against Satellite, and then 3 consecutive 4-set victories. Merritt Island falling to the Hornets once again. Archbishop McCarthy from down in South Florida was a really talented team. Tanya Jarvis said that was a match that could have gone either way. 3 of the 4 sets went right down to the wire, and then Hornets got past Robinson out of Tampa in 4 sets in the state semifinal. Marks the 8th consecutive year that Bishop Moore will either win the state championship or lose to the eventual state champion. Program that has been in the mix to win state titles now for nearly a decade on all of Tanya Jarvis's 10 seasons as the head coach. Good pass. Scheitzak with the back set. Monserrat. How'd she get that ball there? Arjumon with a pickup. Back to Monserrat, 1-on-1. And that matchup favors Bishop Moore.
And Scheitzak, you see the brilliance in her setting technique and in her setting ability. There were a few times in that match she had to force that ball to the right side, came out clean. and really good set for Monterey.
3 in a row for Bishop Moore to get within 24-22. Still set point for Ponte Vedra. Fowler with the bump set. Great dig. That's Claire Meyer, a middle playing defense in the back row. Lizzie Brown, great spot.
And staving off match point again, or set point again, Lizzie Brown, one of the most efficient players on the court. 2 attempts, 2 kills, hitting 1,000 right now.
And the Hornets tie it up. Good serve from Scheitzock. Precise pass from Meyer. It's Monserrat. Even at 24, the Hornets have scored 6 in a row.
I've never seen a team stave off that many set points. But you know what? That's just what Bishop Moore does, especially when they have their powerhouse, Marley Monserrat, in the front row. Remember, not naturally a hitter, one is a setter, but just overall super athletic. Huge swing by Monserrat.
So much pressure when you can't afford to give up a point. Everyone has to handle their responsibilities. Meyer, a huge part of that with a dig. Middle blocker playing defense in the back row to help the Hornets come back and tie it.
Well, think about how many serves Scheitzock has had to go back. We've seen a lot of teams error in that position, but she was so confident, so comfortable back there, and has served the ball very, very well.
A little bit more on the youngest of the 3 Monserrat sisters. She'll become the 3rd to play for Mary Wise at the University of Florida. Last year's Orange County Player of the Year, and how about that stat line in the state semifinals against Robinson? 28 kills, 19 digs, and 7 assists. She's got 6 kills here in the opening set this morning. Most recent one bringing her team even at 24. Fowler backing up and pushing it outside. Another dig from Meyer, just stuck her right arm out.
Oh, wow.
Kinder contacted that ball, so Bishop Moore gets another shot at it. Meyer with a roll shot from the back row. Johnson, block, slowed it down. Brown with the tip. Fowler takes the first contact. Punched over. Good contact by Brown. Monserrat. Ponte Vedra fans wanted a double.
Oh, great play. Great dig by Meyer.
Monserrat with the tip. Another touch on the block. Meyer from the back row. What a rally this is.
Oh.
The dump on 2. What a decision by Fowler. And Ponte Vedra once again has set point.
We saw Marley Monserrat do it from the backcourt. Claire Meyer almost getting there, so close, within inches. What a rally that was.
Both teams wanted a double contact on the setter during the course of that rally. Scheitzock negotiates the tight pass. Out of system, Monserrat. That's on the back line for Paige Johnson. Ponte Vedra gives up 6 in a row and then comes back to win the last 2 and take the opening set, 26-24.
That's unreal, the fight back from Bishop Moore, but imagine if there wasn't that big spread of points. Gosh, how close would that set have been? Great job by Bishop Moore to come back and fight, but even better job by Ponte Vedra.
Incredible action late in that opening set. Ponte Vedra swept 3-0 last year in the state final. They take the opening set. What better way to spend a Saturday morning on campus here at UNF than relaxing in a hammock, soaking up some of the sun rays. Man, they've had fantastic weather here in Jacksonville for the state finals. Take you back to last year. These 2 teams met in Ocala at Westport High School. And it was a dominating victory for Bishop Moore, 25-11 in the opening set. Morgan Davis, who came such a long way from the time she started in this program, now playing at Texas A&M. She was the top player for the Hornets. Ponte Vedra made it really competitive in the third set, but the Davis block sealed it. Had 3 of those in addition to 13 kills as Bishop Moore went back-to-back as state champions, trying for a three-peat. And in order to do it, they will have to go 4 sets. Bishop Moore moving up from 5A to 6A when the state went to 9 classifications. Vanguard won back-to-back titles in 6A, followed by Venice and Jensen Beach. We'll see Venice a little bit later today. Indians nationally ranked. They will play in the 8A final at 4 o'clock. Team switch sides. Cameron Scheitzock begins with Bishop Moore, and it's an ace.
And both teams have started with really tough serving in each set. We saw Ponte Vedra come out early, almost ace on that first play. And then Scheitzock taking it behind the line. She's such a composed server.
Good pass that time from Eve Beach. Double contact against Fowler. Third ball handling error.
We saw a few of those slide out from the up officials. They want to let the game play. They want to let the match play out, but I think he's going to call a little bit tighter in this second set. Yeah, that's another one. We've seen a lot of teams struggling with that this weekend. A lot of setters not getting that ball out very clean. Could be, you know, some antsiness. They're just not getting their feet there before making the set.
Also figure in a state final, you're going to have the highest level of officials. Means they're going to call things a little bit tighter. Incredible dig by Arjamon. Meyer continuing to play good defense in the back row. How about Monserrat with one hand keeping that on the Bishop Moore side of the net to allow Lizzie Brown to record the kill.
Look at Lizzie Brown, like dunking that ball across the net. Smart play by her. Didn't have the set that she wanted, but still was able to get the kill.
Meyer stretched out every inch of that 6-foot frame, but could not prevent that one from hitting the floor. Third kill for Lily Kinder.
And what I love about Claire Meyer is that she's not just a warm body on the floor. She's so present in the back row, playing defense, and they're using her in the out-of-system situation. She's running like a Bic or a pin play for her team.
Monserrat stuffed Jordan Gregg with her second block.
And that's just the ideal matchup. Again, showing super late, so Monserrat thinks that she has that line, and then Gregg comes in and swoops in at the last second.
Leads the team 77 blocks, and there's one from Kinder.
And that's just good tracking by a middle blocker. You're seeing that Monserrat wants to have something different. She's going to run that 2-option solo block. Great patience from Lily Kinder to just hold off and stay for that set.
Back-to-back solo stuffs from Ponte Vedra. That was one of the areas that Robin Minery pinpointed as a strength. We've been good in different areas at different times, but blocking has been a great improvement. They run Meyer out of the pipe. Back-to-back blocks and then an attack error. And Bishop Moore's 4-0 lead quickly evaporates. 4 in a row for the Sharks. Highfield had to react late to get that ball over. Monserrat on 2.
I knew it was coming. I was going to say it out loud. I'm thinking it in my head, dump the ball, dump the ball, dump the ball. So I'm going to take some broadcaster credit for that. I'll telepathically told Monserrat to dump that ball. It's the great choice. Didn't have the option she wanted. Doesn't have all the setting options she wants. So good choice just to get out of that rotation.
Lefty Madison Highfield. Could not reach far enough to get to that attack from Paige Johnson. 5th kill for the 5'11" junior. 3 consecutive matches, Johnson has been in double-digit kills. She was limited by a back issue last year. Minnery told us it wasn't until March during club season that she was back to 100%. And her production has been a big asset. Low set for Kinder. She tried to hit it as hard as she could off a block, but no touch.
And when middle attackers hit the ball out, it's usually because one or two things: the set's low and or the block is established where it needs to go. They're forcing her to try to make a choice. They show that they want to go cross court, and then they don't leave much open.
Touch on that attack from Gabby Keller.
And that's how she's so dangerous. That's the shot for her. Monserrat's a good blocker. Claire Meyer's a good blocker. So going high off the hands is the perfect shot for her.
That's exactly what Minnery told us Keller has done throughout the year, swinging high and hard with confidence. There's Meyer soaring through the middle and crushing it.
I'm like, you don't think that anybody's going to make that play. I was even thinking on that last set. I'm like, Scheitzock, who are you set? And then here comes Claire Meyer, just so powerful, so aggressive, jumps sky high, and that whip of an arm swing reminds me of a girl I played with, Kristen Fisher. Just so hard to defend because the arm swing is so fast.
Meyer had the first contact and the third. Line judges rule it wide, but an overrule from Brian Leong. He says that ball caught the line.
Yeah, that ball's in.
No question. A good overrule from the up official.
Oh, wow, good defense.
No chance to get it back over. Ponte Vedra trying to use Jordan Gregg. Meyer and Scheitzock put up a wall for the Hornets. Some of the Ponte Vedra fans doing the gator chop as Montserrat served.
Oh, great swing.
That's Grace Peterson. Another player on the front row, doesn't get many opportunities. She's over 100 kills this year.
But that's a really good matchup for her. Grace Peterson, she definitely has the height advantage over Gabby Keller. So I like that they're pushing that ball there. She just swung right over it.
Second year at Bishop Moore for Peterson. She won a state championship as a sophomore at Winter Springs. Here she is again on the right side. Peterson tied for third on the team in kills with Lizzie Brown. They've each got 3 in this state final. The gator chop did not work on Montserrat, so the Ponte Vedra fans have now gone to the war chant, which seems far more appropriate. Gregg didn't get much of approach, but the block was out of play. Ponte Vedra finally sides out, ends that Montserrat serving run to make it 11-7.
And what's really surprising about this match so far is with two really competitive teams, you normally don't see chunks of points like you have. We've seen 4, 5, 6 runs of points. Normally it's so neck and neck, but both teams have done a good job of just battling back from those points.
Really good job by Montserrat with that bump set to Scheitzock. 5-point advantage for the Hornets, trailing 1-0 here in the 6A final. Adriana Hernandez. She has been given an opportunity late in the season. Earned a spot on the court with her performance in practice, has made the most of her opportunity.
And another team that's really finding kills from all over the court. Pretty one-dimensional in the first set for Bishop Moore was, but now they're really spreading it around. We're seeing a lot of activity from different players.
Lizzie Brown with the block on Paige Johnson. And through the middle, no touch. Once again, a low set for a middle to try to negotiate. It was Erika Hendrickson. And Ponte Vedra will burn a timeout.
And almost the exact same score we saw Bishop Moore battle back from in the first set. Bishop Moore's really spread their offense out a lot more in this second set, seeing a lot of activity from Grace Peterson. Hernandez tallies one, so they're definitely less one-dimensional right now, getting a lot of points from a lot of different players.
You go back to the end of that first set, Bishop Moore has outscored Ponte Vedra 21-10. At the end of the first set and here at the start of the second. But the 2 points the Sharks got at the end of the first were the big ones to make it 26-24. Bishop Moore and West Orange carrying the banner for Central Florida. Geneva and Lake Highland Prep both taking silver medals back to Orlando. We will see the Warriors in a highly anticipated 9A final against Palm Beach Gardens. West Orange undefeated, Gardens just one loss.
Undefeated, that's crazy. And one loss is crazy. It's gonna be an awesome match.
Both those teams nationally ranked. That one scheduled for a 7 p.m. start here in Jacksonville. It'll be the final match of the tournament.
Prime time, baby.
3 matches between teams ranked in the top 100 nationally. We saw one of them on Thursday night with Lake Highland and Berkeley Prep. That one went 4 sets, and then both 8A and 9A with teams ranked in the top 100 of the Prep Volleyball national rankings. Monserrat, bump set for Hernandez. Meyer coming up and commanding that second ball. Finally, Ponte Vedra ends up winning the point. Great action there from both teams during that rally.
And it's just so crazy. The ball's in the net, the ball's tight to the net, but both teams are so composed. Monserrat kept that ball alive with a kick.
Adriana Hernandez a little bit long. Monserrat showing confidence in the junior outside, went right back to her.
And that's definitely where we can see Hernandez come alive in this match, using those hands like we're seeing so much from Gabby Keller on the other side. Going high against that big block, just get a little bit of a touch. It's the perfect swing in volleyball.
Monserrat behind the 10-foot line, opts for the conservative shot.
Oh, unloads.
It is a cannon.
Oh, great dig by Arjumand. Oh my goodness.
And Monserrat
smokes.
finishes the point.
Where in the world did Arjumand even come from with that dig? One-handed, totally off balance, reading the different direction. She was ready to go to her right. At the last second, bails out with the left hand, and dig location on that was almost perfect. Great swing by Monserrat to execute.
Meyer with a dig. That goes all the way across the net. Like it might touch part of the scoreboard. Another one from Meyer. Now Bishop Moore in system. Monserrat on the right side. Pontevedra blocker was in the net. Incredible defense from middle, Claire Meyer.
We've seen her have 5 digs already, and there's been a few times that she's had those teachable in-match moments where she's been diving, not making the right read, but sits back there in her defensive position and just sits tight on that ball. That's a heavy swing by Johnson.
That one just beyond the back line. Paige Johnson. And Bishop Moore now fully in command of this second set, up 19-10.
Oh. And that's where you can get into trouble when you have a middle back there. Typically you have the libero in that left back who can take those free ball situations. Everyone's bailing out on their defense. Claire Meyer's reading that attack correctly. She's facing the shoulders, just not in, didn't have her weight moving forward to make that read.
First kill for coach's daughter, Logan Minnery. Great connection there with Kinder. Jarvis trying to do her best to get involved in the play.
That ball is still alive off of Arjumand's foot, so heads up play by Coach Jarvis.
Monserrat. The block did not get up quick enough. There was nothing Fowler could do to slow that one down.
And what I love about Monserrat, she's so comfortable in any type of tempo with that set. That ball came out of Scheitzok's hands really quick, but the athleticism of Monserrat, she just goes up there and unloads on that ball. Fowler wasn't even set in her defense by the time that she had taken that swing.
Once again, Coach Jarvis trying to get involved in the action. Jordan Gregg with an effective swing. Junior outside, Paige Johnson. Good serve. Monserrat, no blocker up.
Dig.
That's the libero, Irvanian. It's wiped away with the ball handling error.
Right in the perfect position, sits underneath it. That's why liberos are short, because she didn't have to go too low to get underneath it. Got her feet set and just sat there, took some off, absorbed that power. Good dig. Oh, great dig by Scheitzok.
Peterson. Overpass, Meyer can't stuff it down. Irvanian, the libero, made a great play to come up. Monserrat goes tip, and Irvanian can't get there in time. Now 10 kills for Marley Monserrat.
And what is so brilliant about Monserrat's play, setting and offense, she knows, she has this really good awareness. She has this like radar for how the match is, where the defense is going. She always tips at the most opportune times. It's a good matchup for her too, because she does have the smaller of the two outsides, Gabby Keller, there, but she's shown so much power that nobody expects her to use that tip.
4 players on this Bishop Moore roster, either signed or committed to play college volleyball. 3 senior captains have all inked their letters of national intent. And Lauren Davis is a junior. She is headed to Texas A&M, but out for the entire season. Broken foot in the preseason against Lake Highland Prep. Get a glimpse of Davis standing up there on the Bishop Moore bench. Her older sister Morgan saw the highlights from last year's state final. And it's amazing that Bishop Moore is in this position given that Davis got hurt in the preseason. Maddie Brown, who they thought was going to be a starter, got hurt during club. She has only played the last couple of matches and only want to use her if absolutely necessary. Combine that with the fact that 3 of their projected starters decided not even to play high school volleyball. They opted to train and try to get ready for college with some of their club teammates and club coaches. Bishop Moore without 5 players that they thought would be starters, but the Hornets are back in the state final and on the verge of evening things up at a set apiece.
And I love the response from the first set. They were almost in the exact same position at that 14-9 being down, fought back to be within 2 and lose that set. And so far, the balance we've seen from the Bishop Moore offense has been impeccable. That's exactly what they needed, and they've had so much good defensive play by Arjumand and Claire Meyer in the back row.
Block of Meyer slowed it down. Monserrat delivers the final point for Bishop Moore. Hornets look like a much different team in set number 2. Took command of the set early and never relinquished it. All even at 1 set apiece here in the 6A final. Bishop Moore in control from the outset, winning at 25-13 in set number 2. Back at the University of North Florida in Jacksonville, Bishop Moore rallies back to take the second set, 25-13. 1 set apiece here in the 6A final. Already 5 champions crowned during this weekend of volleyball. Sneeds and Carrollwood Day winning in 3 sets. St. John Lutheran Christchurch Academy in 4. And then that fantastic 5A final we had on Thursday night with Berkeley Prep beating Lake Highland in 5.
Yeah, and that was such a fun match to watch. We knew kind of in the onset of it how closely contested it was going to be, and to see it go to that marathon, that's always super fun to watch. Good volleyball, you love to see it be that competitive.
Some of the statistics, what these teams have done throughout the year. The kills were even in the first set, 15 for Bishop Moore, 13 for Ponte Vedra, but Sharks had just 7 in that second set. Felt like they were constantly on defense with Bishop Moore's relentless attack.
Yeah, and then the serving game from Bishop Moore became more aggressive. So again, the Sharks offense wasn't able to get started. They were out of system a lot, and that's still the key for them. They still need to execute well out of system. I think it was just the increase in efficiency from the Bishop Moore offense that really set it apart. Marlene Monserrat was getting in her groove. Lizzie Brown added to it. Grace Peterson definitely contributed into that match as well, as we see some pretty invested fans in the crowd.
Most of the fans here are paying very close attention to the action. Not all. That youngster much more focused on his tablet.
He might be watching us. Let's just say he's watching us on the Spectrum Sports app, right?
Wants to be able to see the replays, hear our commentary. Yeah, that sounds about right. Ponte Vedra serves to begin the 3rd set. Ball moving a lot as it came out of Fowler's hands, but no whistle from the officials, and Lily Kinder records her 5th kill.
And Lily Kinder was such a huge part of the defense for Ponte Vedra in that first set. Slowed down Monserrat pretty much in that first set with blocks and slowdowns.
Great defense to pop that ball back into the air. And they couldn't get reorganized quickly enough for Monserrat. She has been the offensive focal point for Bishop Moore. Now 11 kills. He's no doubt scrolling through our social media feeds. Spec Sports 360 on Twitter. Spectrum Sports 360 on Instagram and Facebook. Wonder what kind of comments he'll have for us.
Yeah.
Have a review after the match to see if we lived up to his expectations.
Yeah, that's right.
Fifth ace for Bishop Moore as a team. First for Madison Highfield. That one sails long, so trade an ace for an error. Robin Minnery's team executed the game plan to perfection in the first set. Monserrat hammers it off the block. Wanted to serve tough and establish multiple hitters. It struggled to do that in set number 2.
And see how far away Hendrickson is away off the net. If you're not going to have your chest closer, you need to have your hands over that net as Monserrat swinging.
Paige Johnson going down the line. Attack error on the junior.
And they're really, Bishop Moore is really forcing her to try to make that low percentage shot. She only has about 10% of the court to work with. They're showing line, but they're taking it away really with the block.
Pass tight to the net, joust between Peterson and Fowler. Meyer just punches that one over. And Pontevedra fails to get it back across.
Claire Meyer's just so overall athletic. We're seeing how she's responded to being on that backside of the court. Done a really good job offensively for Bishop Moore as well.
I just can't believe how well Myers played defensively. I mean, we've done how many matches in the last 3 years when Myers played? 5 or 6 probably, and I can't ever remember her staying in for more than one rotation in the back row. She is more than holding her own back there.
In a left back position where they normally play libero. Like, she's playing in the position where activity is the most. Oh, great job by Scheitzok.
From her knees, got that ball back up. Just beyond the back line for Paige Johnson.
And so we saw just the brilliance of the Sharks offense in that first set. The defense from Bishop Moore has really matched into that second, third set. And then here comes the serving game. Man, they are just really, really putting the gas on behind the service line.
4th ace for libero Ariana Arjamon, and the Hornets have scored 6 straight to race out to an 8-2 advantage. Think about what this Bishop Moore program has done in the last decade. From 2010 to 2016, that 7-year stretch, they only lost 8 matches against Central Florida teams. They took 5 losses this year, so nearly equaling that number. They were swept when we saw them against West Orange at midseason, and Coach Jarvis told us that was a wake-up call, an indication of how much harder everyone would have to work this season to achieve their goal.
Well, and I think they still hadn't figured out kind of what each player's identity would be within the core group. You know, because they had lost so much of their core identity with people not coming back and people graduating, they were still trying to figure it out at that point. But now you're seeing a lot of people step up. It's not all about Monserrat, even though she's done such an incredible job. Her stat column's insane right now, but you're seeing such more balance on offense for Bishop Moore that I think that's really what's different when we saw them earlier on in the season and now.
Good connection there between Fowler and Erika Hendrickson.
And hits it high. Knows she has the block in there. Claire Meyer showing a little bit late. It just goes right through the seam high off the hand.
Fowler serving has been one of the best rotations for Pontevedra, but she puts it into the net. The tough serving of Bishop Moore has been dictating everything in this match for the last set and a half. Bump set, Peterson. Good reaction from Madison Highfield. A touch on that attack. Paige Johnson with the kill. That's now 6 for her.
And that's exactly what Ponte Vedra wants. They want to have those good transition passes and good transition offense. That's where they can really fight back in this third set. If they get that part of their game elevated, they'll be right back in it.
Ashley Scher checks in for the first time, serves with her team trailing by 5. Peterson went for the line shot, could not execute. Right sock with the touch. Good job by Fowler. Peterson another chance. Scher's there defensively, makes the most of her first opportunity. Peterson trying to hit around that block. Commits an attack error once again. Ponte Vedra in the midst of a nice little run.
And staying really, really aggressive on defense. They're just not, the block is finally setting up well. There's not a lot of seams to hit through. They're forcing these outside attackers to overthink those attacks.
And a free ball for the Sharks. Fowler. Meyer on that slide. That's her favorite shot. Pushed outside, Keller. Peterson trying to transition off the net. Dragged it down on the way back to the 10-foot line. A timeout for Bishop Moore as Ponte Vedra has scored the last 4.
And Grace Peterson wants to go up and block, but if that ball is so far off the net, you might not need to. Hitter was off balance. Could come off and maybe get that roll shot tip.
The Sharks athletic program has been terrific the last couple of seasons. Known for their success in lacrosse. Boys and girls soccer, both advancing to state finals. Boys won a state championship last year. And the girls volleyball team in the state championship match for the 2nd consecutive season. Ponte Vedra, relatively new, high school, opened in 2008. And when you have success like this, it does a lot for school spirit.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine. I mean, that's a young school, pulling in a lot of really athletic players into their programs. Love to see that lacrosse is becoming such a great sport across the state of Florida.
Ponte Vedra regular at the state lacrosse finals, are threatening to get there. And 20-plus wins for this volleyball program for the 5th consecutive year. Out of the timeout, Bishop Moore with a poor first contact in serve receive. Now scrambling to try and get back in it defensively. Middle attack for Gabby Keller.
And so far, Ponte Vedra has done exactly what Bishop Moore did in that second set, forcing their team to make free balls. So far, in the last few points, Bishop Moore hasn't had the opportunity for a good sound attack, or they've had to roll shot or tip.
And Claire Meyer defiantly ends that run. Crushed that slide. Meyer much more appreciative of her time on the court, understands different positions, works harder on training her body off the court as a result of that injury, which we were there for last year. Nasty non-contact, came down, suffered a torn ACL, was out for the remainder of the season. But sometimes when you're away from the sport, you get to refuel that passion.
Yeah, and it's not by choice, too. You know, you want to be out there. It's a want. You want it. You want it. You want it. So I love that.
Fowler took the first contact. Jordan Gregg with the tip.
Oh, I like that play choice, though. Splitting, they're having Claire Meyer run back on that slide, split that offense with Hernandez, leaves that seam wide open for Monterey to make that swing. I like that play call by Scheitzock. Just want to see execution from Monterey.
Vidra had come back to tie it at 10 before the service error from Hendrickson. Wofford signee Meyer to serve. Brown, one-on-one stuff for Lily Kinder, just wide.
And a great first ball kill. That's a tough, well, they're keeping it on defense, so I apologize, but that's a really good transition point. Ooh, that was close.
Because the block was so good, you almost wanted that to be
right?
in, so Kinder could be rewarded. Double contact against the Sharks, so Bishop Moore with 3 in a row. There's Clay Sterrett, Tanya's husband, watching from the stands. Got to appreciate a guy who can wear a shirt that's got a picture of his wife on it, right?
I kind of think I should get that for my husband for Christmas. I think that's good. He'll really enjoy that.
You think he would
Oh, yeah,
wear that all over town?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Love it. And I love that picture of her. It just captures her so well.
Scheitzock off the net.
Oh, great dig by Meyer. Great transition point. Middle to middle.
Lizzie Brown heavily involved in the offense. Couple of kills and a block in the last several points.
That's a huge dig from Meyer. Look at her. Look at that dig location. Monserrat, it's perfectly set. She can take 2 steps up and then middle, Monserrat, middle. Love it. Oh, good set.
Kinder running that slide.
And we haven't seen her run that slide really at all. She's been so efficient at the 1 and blocking. I love the mix-up in that play call, and good set by Fowler to run it. Didn't show it until super late in the last few seconds of the hands. Makes it really hard for a blocker to read that slide.
Logan Minnery in to serve. Talked to Robin about the challenges of coaching your daughter. Said she's learning a lot about how much she can get on her in practice.
Oh, great dig.
She tries her best not to talk volleyball on the car rides home as Fowler gets whistled for a double contact.
And that's a huge dig by Iravanian. She just sunk underneath it, got caught between. Fowler just got caught behind Kinder, tried to make that last adjustment with her feet, couldn't, had no other option than to try to just throw her hands on the ball.
3-point margin here in set number 3. Sharks won the first set 26-24. Hornets dominated the second 25-13. Peterson blocked by Kinder.
And 3 stuffs, not only just block touches, this girl is stuffing attacks. Press, that swing block, it can be vulnerable for some people, but if you're as disciplined as Kinder with those hands over the net and the timing of it, you're going to have good things happen. 3 huge blocks for her so far.
And Minnery had great things to say about Kinder. Big fan of how she closes the block and had a great example of that on that last point. Hornets respond with a side out. Fowler in the middle for Hendrickson, right through the hands of Scheitzock.
And when you have a collegiate level coach like Minnery, you can teach your setters how to run that quick tempo out of system. Fowler was a little bit farther off the net, but the distance between her and Hendrickson was perfect for that one set out of system really, or off the net.
Meyer hanging in the air and finding back line with that kill. That's now 8 for Claire Meyer.
And it had like a knuckleball sound to it. It looked like it hit like the core part of her hand. It was just super flat, really powerful.
Fowler backing up, no blocker there for Hendrickson. Somehow that ball got back on the Ponte Vedra side.
Oh, wow, great defense on both sides.
Each team thought they were going to win the point. It's the Hornets that take it with another Meyer kill.
And good teams, both of these sides are playing such good, like, composed. They're playing staying composed in the crazy with those weird touches and keeping the ball alive when you think that it's going to drop. I love this kind of volleyball.
Off the tape and down for an ace. A timeout for Ponte Vedra. Two big momentum points go the way of the Hornets, and that stretches the margin out to 5. The Spectrum TV app is here. Allows you to watch Spectrum Sports on your mobile device at home or when you're out on the town. Spectrum TV is available on iPhones, iPads, select Android devices and Kindles. You can also get it on Roku, Xbox One, and Samsung Smart TVs. You can find all the download links and details if you head to myspectrumsports.com. Definitely a pro Ponte Vedra crowd here at UNF, which is what you would expect given that campus is about 20 minutes south of the University of North Florida. Had great representation from the Jacksonville schools here. Christ Church Academy we saw here on Wednesday, and now Ponte Vedra fans waking up early to support the Sharks. Fowler goes to Jordan Gregg. Four kills for Gregg, really coming into her role as a right side. Henry made her a right side and club to help with that development. A fun spirit and brings a great energy to this team.
And not what you want to do when you're trying to fight back. We've seen both sides make those uncharacteristic errors when they're trying to battle. But you cannot rule either of these teams out when they're down, because that's what the first few sets have dictated. It's just a crazy, crazy match between two really competitive teams. Oh.
Ball handling error on Scheitzock, her second.
West Orange girls coming in early, watching the state championship, getting the emotions ready, getting a feel for the gym. Love it.
That's Baylor Bumford, committed to play college volleyball as a middle, but she is the setter for West Orange. Has done a great job in that role. We'll see the Warriors tonight at 7 o'clock in the 9A final against Palm Beach Gardens.
It's a good slowdown by the block.
Jordan Gregg just kind of jabbed that one over, but it was so tight to the net, she ends up with a violation.
And those are definitely plays you want to execute. The problem with that play is the slowdown on the block. It actually took out setter Fowler. Second, you always want to better that second ball. You're better off giving a 5-foot off bump set in that situation so you don't have your player go hit the net.
Meyer betters the second ball for Scheitzock. A nice swing there from Gabby Keller.
She's been a little bit quieter, but she is the L2. So she's in the front row most when there's 3 options in the front row, but you want to have your pin player be able to execute that out-of-system play. She's so tricky, very beach-style play. can find those deep shots pretty quickly.
Free balled over. Good chance for Ponte Vedra. Right back to Keller. Brown and Scheitzock with the block. Now Keller undeterred. Quickly transitioned, got back up and ripped it.
And getting more and more comfortable swinging down that line. How will Bishop Moore's defense respond with her in the front row? Would they play rotation? Again, it's not very powerful, but she's just making really good contact. That one seems wide open.
21-18 here in the third set. Bishop Moore takes the timeout. One of the things Robin Minnery wanted to do this year, after the way last year played out, was put together a more challenging schedule. Went down to South Florida, played some of the top teams down there. 4 of their 5 losses came in tournaments against teams like Ransom Everglades, Westminster Christian. Lost to Sneeds, which won the 1A title yesterday. All about trying to be more prepared when you get to those most meaningful matches in the postseason.
And you see the teams that play are the tougher schedules. They have maybe a little bit more losses, but you'll see them have the 4 or 5 set matches. And what that does is it prepares your team to go the distance. Yeah, you can, and even West Orange, they are undefeated, but they've played a pretty challenging schedule. Central Florida has a really, really good pool of teams. So you'll see a lot of those as the matches go on and as the season go on, with tougher competition, 4 or 5 setters that just better prepare your team for situations like this when you know you're probably going to go 4, at least.
Monserrat could not control her body enough, trying to twist it to stay out of the net. Off the tape, what a great reaction that was by Monserrat.
Oh, great dig.
Ashley Schur there defensively for Ponte Vedra. Another kill for Gabby Keller. She's got 4 of them here in the third set. 7 in the match, and the Sharks are back within 1.
And electing to still swing high. Marley Monserrat made the adjustment on the block to block the line, but just had a little bit of a weakness.
Monserrat long out of the pipe, and we're all even at 21. Both teams are out of timeouts, so neither coach will be able to bring their team to the sideline. And the Sharks get an ace.
No timeouts, but watch for subs. Slow the game down a little bit, slow the tempo down a little bit, both sides. You don't see Marley Monserrat get aced often. She's such good ball control. Arjumon coming in to make that play.
Beach went short with that serve. Good pass by Meyer. Lizzie Brown with the kill.
And as a coach, you have to be just so excited to have a player like Lizzie Brown. First off, if you watch her in any play, she is the hardest working player on the court. But you know, whenever you give the ball, she's not going to error. We've seen her have some plays picked up, but she doesn't error the ball. She gets kills or she keeps the ball in play.
That side out allows Monserrat to rotate back up to the front row with Scheitzock serving. This is a good rotation for Bishop Moore. Scheitzock will go to Monserrat. Beach with the dig. She's been big down the stretch here in the third set. Hernandez, attack error into the net.
And I love the aggressive swing from Hernandez. She wanted it. She definitely did. Want to go high on that swing, though. You have to take a quick look at where you are versus the net. Ball, net, ball again before you make that swing, so you know exactly how far off the net you are. She thought she was a little bit closer.
Good serve from Minnery. Monserrat long, and it is set point for the Sharks. They trailed 21-16, but have scored 8 of the last 9 points. Great defensive plays, benefiting from Bishop Moore mistakes. Meyer with another outstanding dig. Monserrat tips. Fowler could have easily been called for a double. Block slows it down. Highfield crushes it.
Look at Highfield coming in, 5'8" junior, exchanging positions. Pat was stayed on the outside a few points. Really aggressive swing at the lefty. Keeps her team in.
Still set point for Ponte Vedra. They've got the advantage. Fowler goes to Kinder.
A great dig by Scheitzhoff.
Peterson, conservative, free balling it over to the outside. There it is. Paige Johnson with the winning point for Ponte Vedra. Ponte Vedra trailed 21-16 in that third set, but they play flawless down the stretch and rally to win it 25-23 for a 2-1 lead. Back at UNF Arena in Jacksonville, tight wins for Ponte Vedra in sets 1 and 3. Hornets dominated the second, but they now find their backs against the wall, having to win the final 2 sets to take their 3rd consecutive state title. Time to revisit the keys to the game, driven by your local Honda dealers. How would you assess the way each team's performed in those categories?
Well, cranking up Claire Meyer, we've seen her with 9 kills, 4 blocks, and 7 digs. Kind of a surprise that we didn't expect from her. So she's done a good job of being the leader, both on offense and defense, on the line and in the backcourt. And for Ponte Vedra, winning out of system, what they did well in that 3rd set was ride the shoulder of Gabby Keller. There were 4 kills she got that were out of system plays that she executed super well. We didn't see Paige Johnson as active, but they really rode those 4 kills that she had back to back.
Yeah, 3 kills in the first 2 sets for Keller. She had 4 in that 3rd set. You have to credit the tenacity, the desire, and the execution of this Ponte Vedra team. Able to perform when the sets were on the line. 26-24, won the last 2 points in the first set, won the last 2 points in the 3rd set, and fought back from a 21-16 deficit. Block gonna land out. Paige Johnson with her 8th kill.
And what's so impressive about that Ponte Vedra win in the 3rd set was that they had lost so much. They had lost by so many points in the 2nd set, 25-13, were down and then battled back. They just rode the wave, they stayed consistent. They finally got their offense firing a little bit more. We saw Jordan Gregg get more activated. We saw Kinder with her blocking and attacks come alive in that set as well.
A good rip from Lizzie Brown, but Ashley Scher was able to dig it, and Ponte Vedra wins the point. Jordan Gregg now with 5 kills, and it is a really confident Sharks team.
A great set.
Monserrat tooling it off the block. 13 kills for her.
I love that shot off the block. Off the hands. Didn't have the set she wanted. Super advanced play. Just went off the right hand of the blocker. That's really one of the weaker hands in the block, the outside hands.
Keller with the strength on that attack to be able to push it through the block and down for a point.
Keller's still swinging really high. Finds both hands, the two middle point hands on the block.
Monserrat had a good angle. Not much you can do with that.
And Hendrickson sat underneath it, but there's just so much power. You've got to eat that power a little bit. You have to kind of brace it with your arms on the dig.
Easy for you to say sitting over here.
I know, right? I see how fast it is, don't worry. Oh, great swing.
Peterson, that ball didn't get too far over the net. A lot of topspin.
We've seen her go into the seam. I like that sharp cross. She has the advantage because she's a little bit taller, so she can reach for that and make that cut.
Meyer slows it down with the block. Monserrat got a great bump set from Madison Highfield.
And anytime you lead Monserrat with the bump set, anytime it's in front of her where she can just go and get her feet to the ball, that's what she loves. That ball is perfectly set up to crank that down the line.
Attack error from Panavidra. This is another rotation where Bishop Moore has excelled with Arjumand serving. She's been tough behind the service line, and you got Meyer and Monserrat in the front row. Scheitzock from Meyer. Didn't make great contact, bounces off the tape and down for the 10th kill for Claire Meyer.
When you jump as high as Claire Meyer does, your hang time allows you to make those plays. She is hitting that ball on the way down, but didn't like that location and just got a hand on it. That's all you have to do as a middle sometimes, is just keep the play alive.
Scheitzock takes the first ball. Monserrat out of system. Makes the setter Fowler play the first one. Scheitzock in the middle, Meyer. Sure with another dig. How good has she been defensively at the start of this fourth set, I beg your pardon. There she is again. Monserrat. That is her 4th kill already in this set. Timeout, Panavidra.
And what's crazy is we've seen Sure be so sure on defense. She's just been so tightened up. But because that ball splits and with the speed it has and the distance of it, who has to make that crossing pattern? You have Eravanian, who's a little bit shorter. That is actually Sure's ball, but because of where its location is, there's no communication there. Easy kill for Monserrat.
Bishop Moore seeking their 3rd consecutive state championship, 5 in the last 6 years. Panavidra trying to break through and win their first program that was state runner-up a year ago. They are much more competitive this season, up 2 sets to 1. Last year they were swept by the Hornets. Where Bishop Moore needs to rely on their senior leadership. Captains who have been through so much in this program know what it takes to win. So have to be the 3 to carry them here in the final couple of sets. And out of the timeout, Arjumand dials up an ace. That's now 5 aces for the Hornets libero.
And she's been so sound on defense. You love when players have another element that they contribute to the team. Serving tough, another ace back to back. That serve is just so tough to handle because it stays actually a little bit higher than you expect it to as you're reading it, and then just drops at the last second. So you think you're there, and then it changes direction on you at the last second.
Arjumand, the starting libero at the end of the season last year when Samantha Knapp contracted an illness. And Arjumand now wearing the same number that Knapp had when she was the libero for Bishop Moore. Not playing at Georgia Tech currently. There's another ace.
Holy smokes.
That timeout from Robin Minery did not do anything to stop the serving momentum from Ariana Arjumand.
But don't rule Ponte Vedra out, even though they're down. We've seen both teams battle back with crazier score deficits.
Scheitzock couldn't react quickly enough after the block slowed down that attack. That ends a run of 10 straight for Bishop Moore.
Good rotation for Bishop Moore. They have Monserrat, Meyer, and Peterson in the front row. They elect to go to Monserrat, of course. She's your highest producer.
And Beach has had a lot of success serving for Ponte Vedra. Now 18 kills for Marley Monserrat. Nearly 2,000 assists in her career, closing in on 800 kills and almost 200 aces. And she will go down as one of the best ones to ever play in Central Florida.
And when you force teams out of system in positions that are kind of awkward like that, you don't have as many, you can't better that second ball. Another really tough situation. So far, the serving for Bishop Moore has caused some chaos for the Sharks. And then you get Claire Meyer coming in with her 11th kill, ripping that ball.
Great connection between Scheitzock and Meyer.
Oh, great read by Arjumand.
Arjumand takes the second ball. Peterson did a good job with handling that. Really high bump set. Peterson found a good spot.
And she has such a height advantage that she can do that again. She's just like right off the hands of the players. Super consistent on that right side for Bishop Moore right now.
Hornets had a run of 10 straight in this set. Right now, they've scored the last 4. Sure ends it from the back row.
And it's good to see Sure tally up one of those kills, because what she's done on defense has been unbelievable. She's been all the way back there with 9 digs. Now comes in, gets a much needed, almost first ball kill situation, executes and gets the ball back. Now this is where Ponte Vedra needs to be very sound. They have a good server behind the line. They need to play some good defense, get some good blocks.
Great dig by Arjumand. Meyer running the slide.
It's the right call. Just needs to turn that left shoulder back into the court. She's still facing out of bounds. That's the challenge with the slide sometimes. As players make that and they turn that corner, they stay parallel with the net. They have to turn that left shoulder back in to go cross court.
Good angle from Paige Johnson. And timeout, Bishop Moore. Tanya Jarvis doesn't want to allow the Sharks to build any kind of momentum.
What's been so crazy about this match is, as we look at it, there have been so many 4+ runs. For Bishop Moore, they have 8 4+ point runs. For Ponte Vedra, they have 4. I mean, there's just been so many chunks of points in this match. It's crazy.
Mentioned the Hornets trying to win state championship number 7. That would put them alone at the top in Central Florida. Currently tied with First Academy. 6 state titles each for those programs. Lake Highland one behind with 5. And it would further the legacy that's being created by the three senior captains on this roster, Claire Meyer, Cameron Scheitzock, and Marley Monserrat. And Meyer stuffed. That was Paige Johnson with the block.
And good read by Johnson. She knew that that was the favored play to go to in that situation, especially when Scheitzock takes the lead on this setting choice. You have Grace Peterson on the outside. They want to force the ball to Meyer.
Monserrat from the back row. Johnson trying to go down the line. Looked like she almost changed her arm angle as she was hanging in the air to try and get that one to fall in the court.
And Paige Johnson really likes the faster offense. She's immediately after making that error, looks at her setter and say, I need that tempo just a bit faster because the block is closing. She wants to beat it with speed. A little bit faster there. Yep, that's a great tempo for her.
Fowler puts it on a tee. Johnson converts it for her 10th kill. Now in double-digit kills for the 11th time this season and the 4th consecutive match. Now Scheitzock given very little chance after that terrific serve from the libero Irvanian, her second ace. Irvanian was on JV last year. That team did not drop a set during the course of the season. As the attack from Hernandez is out. And Irvanian, one of the players who either was on JV or played in a limited role last year that was thrust into a much greater role this season and has thrived in it.
And what's interesting is when you find that when players get to that varsity level, like they had the potential the whole time, but then when they see, especially in the libero position, when they see the speed of the attacks and they have a whole season to develop, they become really powerful. And so far, Irvanian has been a great defender as we see that awesome swing from Adriana Hernandez. One thing that is really impressive about Hernandez is she'll get blocked or make an error and then bounce back with a huge kill.
Meyer continues her fantastic match. We've seen it attacking, blocking, with her defense in the back row, and now with her serving, an ace.
Oh, great dig by Meyer. Just getting everything up. I love it.
How many times have we said that today? Monserrat, bump set for Hernandez. Boy, she hits with a lot of power. Meyer betters the second ball for Scheitzock. Another dig by Meyer. Good read by Scheitzock. Hernandez. This might be the longest rally we've had today, and it ends with an attack error.
And Adriana Hernandez, while she didn't get the kills in that rally, I love that her confidence is growing as this match goes on. Paige Johnson trying to find the hand there, but didn't recognize that she has the smaller of the two right side blockers there. It's the right idea, just needs to be a little bit lower. Oh, great swing.
Well, came back after the error and atoned for it.
And we haven't seen her swing much at that cross court, but that was super sharp. Really hard to make a play on that ball.
Good eye from Meyer as Fowler's serve goes long. Hornets 5 points away from sending this to a decisive fifth set.
Oh, great save, holy smokes.
Irvanian, fantastic stuff there. Monserrat back up front. They were able to dig Montserrat once, but not twice.
And the whole Bishop Moore side going over to Claire Meyer doing the tomahawk chop, because that play, that defensive attack, we call that the tomahawk, when you just kind of put your hands above your head. Actually gets a really good dig out of it, sets the speed up for Montserrat to make the swing.
Now 19 kills for Marley Montserrat.
Great hustle by Eravanian. She is just all over the backcourt. She is not letting this match go away easy.
That was the 23rd dig for sophomore Sophia Eravanian. It was a great battle between Eravanian and Beach to determine who was going to wear the libero jersey. Eravanian calm and scrappy, and her consistency in serve receive was the primary reason why Robin Minery opted to go with the sophomore Eravanian, who was again a key part of an undefeated JV team a year ago.
And so far she's been really dictating that backcourt, not just in serve receive. That 23 digs against a really powerful Bishop Moore team is incredible, and she's done very well in commanding the defense, and when they need her to step in and take that second ball, she's done a good job of setting it up.
No more timeouts for Robin Minery. We've seen her team fight back. They trailed 21-16 in the third set. A much larger deficit here. And it just got bigger with the block by Hernandez.
And good read by Hernandez on that slide. You see how she makes the movement really quick laterally. She's a little bit off balance, but she keeps her hands nice and high and gets the block.
Scheitzach with an ace. An outstanding server who rarely misses from behind the service line. The Hornets now have 13 aces as a team. Paige Johnson unable to make clean contact with that, and it is set point for the Hornets. Set point. On the back line, Erika Hendrickson with her first kill of the fourth set. And that'll have to be the first of 12 set points that Ponte Vedra staves off in order to keep this fourth set going. It's sure that will serve. Overpass, and another kill for Hendrickson. Regardless of the outcome, and obviously Ponte Vedra is in great position to win the 6A final. Look at their lineup. Savannah Fowler, the setters, the senior. Kinder, senior middle blocker. But other than that, everyone's coming back on this team. Montserrat, crushing kill. That gives her 20 in the match, and it sends us to a fifth set. All four sets have been won by the team that is camera left, the left side of the court. We'll see where the teams line up for set number 5. We will race to 15 with a state championship on the line when you come back. Two sets apiece in the 6A state championship match. 2 close wins for Ponte Vedra, 2 lopsided wins for Bishop Moore. Doesn't matter by how many points you win the set, as long as you win it. And the Hornets on point there in the fourth as they try to further their position as Central Florida's top volleyball program. Win today would give them 7 state titles, 1 more than First Academy, 2 more than Lake Highland Prep. 3 outstanding private school programs that year after year are vying to get here and win a championship.
In Central Florida, I say it all the time, it's become kind of this perennial power in the volleyball world. You see, anytime I have the luxury of being able to broadcast AAUs, and you see a lot of Central Florida teams and a lot of Central Florida players in championship matches, and it's becoming just this mecca for great volleyball players. Obviously, you have so many good schools at the collegiate level with Florida, UCF, Miami. They've all been really, Florida State have been great collegiate programs, and a lot of them are fed from Florida players.
If you believe in superstition or luck or trends, then you would favor Bishop Moore in the 5th, because they are on the side that has been the only winning side today.
And what's funny is before Monterey even goes up to the captain's meeting, Coach Jarvis says, we want this side. So it's not just a player thing, it's a coach thing too. But because she was a former player, she gets it.
What a way to begin this Saturday with 4 state championship matches on Spectrum Sports. 6A through 9A, all the large classification schools. We promised you at the top of the telecast it would be more competitive than it was a year ago when Bishop Moore swept Ponte Vedra, and it has certainly lived up and exceeded all of our expectations. Ponte Vedra will serve first. It is the setter, Savannah Fowler. 5th set, you go to 15, must win by 2.
Great pass.
Monterey coming through the middle. Fowler takes the first contact. Round with the
nice
tip, right over the block.
If you could ever perfectly execute a tip, that's how you want it to be. Look how flat it comes out of her hand. The flatness of that tip makes the ball drop. If you have any spin to it, it keeps it in the air just a little bit longer, but that thing just sailed to the floor.
Madison Highfield with a few bounces. Three-balled over by Irvanian. Monterey.
Oh, huge dig.
That was Fowler, the setter. Minery from the back row. Meyer with yet another dig to keep the Hornets in the point. A great spot to attack for Erika Hendrickson.
And you have that triple block. Remember that the defense is so wide open. You only have one person in the deep shots. Middle. It's the right spot to go to. The right shot to make.
Monterey well off the net. Right back to her. That is hammered down.
And what a luxury to have a setter like Scheitzoff, who's so experienced and so competitive, that can force that ball cleanly back to your top producing hitter. She's done such a good job of making that set to the right side to Monterey.
21 kills for the future Florida Gator.
Oh, huge dig by Scheitzoff.
But Hendrickson hammered the overpass.
Hendrickson has done a really good job of owning that net when she's up there. Not only has Lily Kinder contributed a lot on the blocking, but what Hendrickson has done is she's just been really sound at the net making plays.
Catherine Culleton checks in to serve for Ponte Vedra. This is her first appearance of the match. Comes in the 5th set. Talk about a pressure-packed situation. Monterey hits it off the block. Teams have traded side outs through the first 5 points. Not sure, stepping in front of the libero. Jordan Gregg powering it through the block.
And again, so sure of her own passing game. Steps in front of the libero, helps get Gregg her 6th kill of the match. Gregg was super hot in that first set with her blocking and her attacking. It's good to see her come back alive in this 5th.
Peterson, high hands, it's long. Bonavidra scores 2 in a row. First time that's happened here in the 5th set. And the Sharks have their first lead.
Just has to finish that swing a little bit. Grace Peterson takes some off. Oh, great reflexes by Meyer to just get it over.
Sure out of the back row, bangs it into the net. Sometimes better to be lucky than good.
Right? And that's a good matchup against your tough player, Gabby Keller. You have both Peterson and Claire Meyer blocking her. Sure wants that ball. Just a little bit too far in front of that 10-foot line for her to take that leaping approach forward. As she did that, that ball dropped.
Irvanian, good pass on the serve from Fritz. Running that slide with Lily Kinder.
And Kinder's been such a presence on the blocking side of the ball. Only her 5th kill of the match. But it's a nice one, right when they need it.
Minery to serve, the coach's daughter. Sails it long. I figure Tanya Jarvis can be happy if her team can just survive these couple rotations until Montserrat gets back into the front row.
Well, watch them utilize her in out of system because you have Scheidsock in the front row. We've seen them run that play where they run the slide, good slow down by the block. We've seen them run the slide.
Brown off the tape. 4 contacts against Bishop Moores. That ball did not make it across the net.
And the first hitting error from Lizzie Brown in the 5th set. And she's gotten a lot of touches. 7 kills, so far only 1 error. That's pretty efficient.
Hernandez long with the attack. Bonavidra a 2-point lead, and Bishop Moore will burn a timeout.
If the pass is there, when they come out of this, let's keep an eye on what Montserrat does. She might make that dunk to get out of it.
Capture the excitement of the Florida High School State Championship with official merchandise. Championship shirts are available at the end of this match.
Great drama in the first match of this Saturday. Final day of the girls volleyball season in the state of Florida. Both of these teams have a lot of juniors. Identified the 2 seniors on the Bonavidra roster, Kinder and Fowler. And Bishop Moore, you've got 3 critical seniors, Meyer, Montserrat, and Scheidsock. Grace Peterson is the other senior. Those 6 players desperately want to go out on top in their final high school match. This has been everything you want from a state final.
Oh, great pull by Brown. Oh, you want to see Hernandez make that because of how good Lizzie Brown did at pulling that block. That middle took just 1 step of hesitation, left Hernandez with the gap in the block. Just an unfortunate error.
Everything magnified in a 5th set. Good pass by Meyer. It will be Montserrat out of the pipe. Delivering when her team needed it most, and that side out will move Montserrat back into the front row.
And even though 2 points doesn't feel like a big gap to come back from, in the 5th set, because that 15-point is it's right there, it's looming, you have to play almost error-free to finish out the set. Oh, yeah.
A little bit long from Paige Johnson.
Good swing, though. She's been baited to take that line shot. I like that she's going that deep cross court. That's going to be her shot if she wants to tally up some more kills in this fifth.
And two good passes and serve receive from Minery, and Hendrickson making her presence felt here in the fifth set.
And juked Lizzie Brown on that play, so good set by Fowler. Leaves the huge gap for Hendrickson to swing right down the pipe of the court.
Fowler with a miss. Hornets side out, trailing by 1. Bonavidra with excellent blockers, Hendrickson and Gregg up front as Highfield serves and puts it into the net.
13 aces, only 5 service errors for Bishop Moore. And in that fifth set, every error is so critical.
Sure with a great serve, it's an ace. Tanya Jarvis going to make a change. She'll take Highfield out and put in Adriana Hernandez. That means that Arjamond is going to have to cover a huge amount of court here in serve receive. Does her job. Monserrat from the right side. At the last minute, Hernandez pulled her hand out of the way.
And everyone on the bench, out, out, out. Great swing by Monserrat going high off the block.
11-9, Monserrat and Meyer up front for the Hornets, and Arjamond serving. No touch on the attack.
This is definitely the rotation that if you're going to finish it out, you want to stay in. So good defense out of the backcourt. Critical for Bishop Moore. Right now, if you're Bonavidra, just get the first ball kill, get out of it. Great swing.
That's Gabby Keller.
Great swing off the hand. Such a smart play.
Great to see Keller smile like that in a moment with so much tension. Once again to Monserrat. And she's stuffed! Kinder and Keller put up a wall to deny Marley Monserrat.
And it's no secret, that's where the ball's going. Great inside hand by Kinder. If you see the block there, her hands are working independently. She has that one hand in the seam and one hand covering that cross court. That left hand, super disciplined in that hole, gets a great block.
Timeout for the Hornets, trailing by 3. Robin Minery's team just 2 points away from their first ever state championship. If you think they look excited now, just wait till they can get to 15.
Erika Hendrickson back to serve has been one of the key players in this fifth set. She had a big block and a big kill early on.
Peterson with no choice but to free ball it over. Gabby Keller sets up match point for Bonavidra.
And that's where she's at her best, when she sees the seams in the block and just goes for it, gets the touch. So hard to play defense against it and behind it because it changes direction.
Meyer just annihilated that ball. The Hornets staved off 5 set points in the opening set before eventually losing 26-24. They'll have to do it 3 more times here. Monserrat serving at 14-11.
Sure has been lights out.
The tip by Kinder, and that does it for Pontevedra. One more look at the championship point. Appropriate that it comes from a senior. Last time Lily Kinder will put on that Pontevedra jersey, and she delivers a moment she will remember forever.
Coach Minnery can't even believe it. So much raw emotion in the state finals. It's such a long season, and to get to this point and win, that's a great win for Minnery. Tough battle between 2 amazing teams. I have to give credit to the Bishop Moore side. They had a lot of key players come in. Congrats to Marley Monserrat on an amazing career with her 24 kills in this match. Had so many brilliant moments from young players, from older players. But it was just the Pontevedra defense and passing that really set them apart in this match. They were able to execute because of how well they played in defense and transition.
Second 5-set match here at the state tournament. And it's the Pontevedra Sharks in what many people will consider an upset, knocking off Bishop Moore. Really hard to pick a player of the match off the Pontevedra team because of how well-rounded their effort was, but certainly Paige Johnson is deserving. Their leading attacker coming in, and she had 11 kills this morning.
And showed us the versatility in her swings. She wanted to swing line a lot, but was able to get a lot of kills when she went to that cross court. Really made some smart in-game decisions. Had some great defense on the blocking side of the ball, was able to shut down some right side attacks from Grace Peterson and from Marley Monserrat, so well deserved. She played a tough match today.
Have to highlight the defensive standouts. Irvani in the libero was fantastic. Beach serving and passing. Ashley Schur had a lot of great moments in the back row. Those 3 players were integral to what Pontevedra did.
Yeah, and Schur was one of the best passers on the court today. I don't think she had an ace at all off of her arm. She did such a good job. And then you have the balance when you have Paige Johnson go in the back row of Gabby Keller. The reliability in that 5th set really showed us how smart she is as a player. And good news for Pontevedra, they get both Keller and Johnson back next year.
Yeah, the Sharks will be in excellent position to have a chance at a repeat, and the unbelievably good career of Marley Monserrat ends with her finishing as the state runner-up. Pontevedra prevails in a 5-set thriller to win their first state title. For Aaron Campbell and our entire Spectrum Sports crew, led by producer Scott Ingles and director Bob Herman, Austin Lyons saying so long from the University of North Florida in Jacksonville. The Pontevedra Sharks are the 6A state champs.